About sound. We have two of the co-founders of Puro Labs talking about their products, their headsets. Puro Sound Labs. Jason Wayner and Tom Gruskin are both here in the first hour talking about hearing, the kind of headphones for children. On top of that, the first one that came out for kids, and we're going to hear all about that. Pun intended, in the first hour. Second hour, it's going to be computer and technology news brought to you by Slimware Utilities, the official optimization software of Computer America. So sit back. Sound. We have two of the co-founders of Puro Labs.
Yeah,
I have turned off. Puro
no,
Sound. What snuck by me? Look at that. All right. Yeah, we're all set.
Okay.
All right. So sit back, relax, enjoy the Computer America show. Those little suckers turn themselves. "15 seconds.
Your show will go live in 5 seconds. 4, 3, 2, 1.
Broadcasting live, it's America's longest-running national radio talk show on computers, Computer America, hosted by national columnist Craig Crossman. Look for Craig's weekly column in your favorite newspaper. This show nationwide at computeramerica.com. Keep it here for technology news, computer products, guest interviews, and your phone calls. You're listening to Computer America.
Hello and welcome into the Computer America show. It's the nation's longest running, nationally syndicated radio talk show on computers. Computer America is heard around the world and coast to coast. And I'm your host, Craig Crossman. I love that background. It says there's no place like, what is it? And it's got, I take it that. But we have a terrific show planned for you tonight. In the second hour, we're going to be doing computer and technology news brought to you by Slimware Utilities, the official optimization software of Computer America. And in the first hour, we're going to be talking about sound, specifically the sound that you hear. Well, I guess most sounds you hear it. I mean, you know, that you hear. Well, I guess most sounds you hear it. I mean, you know,
Really, really deep bass, you feel it, but yeah, I think hearing though would be most relevant to tonight's guest.
Right. Well, that begs the question, though, of if a man is alone in the woods. You've heard that, right? And you know, there's no woman to hear him. Is he still wrong?
Yep.
So we're going to be talking about headsets from Puro Sound Labs. Both of the co-founders are here. And we're going to be talking about their first headset that actually came out for kids. That's right. Evidently, kids have more sensitive hearing, and it's subject to, you know, damage, because obviously, you know, I mean, if they hear loud sounds, evidently
all you folk, you're already damaged goods. We're talking about the youngins.
They hear loud sounds. So we're going to be talking about that, and also they're coming out with a headset for adults, and they have earbuds. And we're going to be talking to them about all this stuff in the first hour. And if you have a comment or a question for any of our guests or us, you can give us a call at 347-884-8881. That's 347-884-8881. That's 347-884-8881. I'll get you on and get you through. You can also join us in our live interactive chat room at computeramerica.com. Just go to our homepage and click on the Show Lounge button, pull down menu, just click on it. Or if you hover over it, you can go to the full page version. It'll just say, you know, want to chat. You'll just put in a name, a username. That's the name to be known by when you go in there, and you're in. It's just that simple. It couldn't be more easy to do. A lot of Computer America regulars are in there now, so I'm sure we'd love to see you in there in the Computer America chat room. So I think that's pretty much it. Again, 347-884-8881. So anything you want to mention before we get started, Ben?
We're pretty much good to go.
Oh, you might be asking yourselves, what makes Puro Sound Labs different than other audio product companies? Because let's face it, there are a lot of them out there. Okay. Well, I guess according to them, it's all the details. They obsess about product details. It's all about getting it right. And it's about product details. It's all about getting it right and making the sound when you hear it. They know the science behind creating that great sound. The company will provide consumers with premium quality, hearing healthy, contemporary design on-ear and over-the-ear headphone monitors at disruptive prices. Now, joining us tonight are Jason Weiner and Tom Gruskin. Jay is the CTO and co-founder, and Tom is the CMO and co-founder of Puro Sound Labs. Gentlemen, welcome into Computer America. How are you?
Doing fine.
Great.
Doing well. Thanks for having us.
Okay, so now you heard my basic introduction about the Puro Sound Labs. Why don't you tell us a little bit about the company itself and just Puro Sound? Why did you feel that you? Because look, there are a lot of headset companies. I mean, there's Bose and there's a million there. There's
the kids nowadays, they love those Beats by Dr. Dre.
Yeah, pair of headphones. And I'll ask that first of Jay, and then Tom, you can follow up that. But Jay, why did you decide to do this?
Sure. It all came about, actually. It was a colleague of mine from some former employment introduced me to our CEO and Tommy, who's on the line with us, and they were evaluating a headphone company and got together with these guys for lunch, and we went through some of the products for the company they were acquiring. And unfortunately, I had bad news for them. I said, guys, look, the products look great and they sound terrible. So we could start with a blank slate, and we'd be in a better place where we're not digging ourselves out of a hole with poor reviews of the products, and we can build from scratch the company that we really want. And they were game to do so. So one of the first products that we talked about, it came from a couple areas. I came with some market data that, due to tablet sales, children's products were really taking off. I also had a personal vested interest with young children of my own that protecting their hearing health was paramount to me, and it was something that it was a need that was not being served by the market. And Tommy's wife actually came to him with the idea at the same time that I was bringing that idea. So at that, I'll turn it over to Tommy to continue.
Yeah, when I sat down with my wife to tell her that I was thinking about helping to form a headphone company, I didn't know exactly how it was going to go, but she said, look, if you're going to do that, that's fine, but look at the kids market, because there's nothing there that isn't junk. These are her words. And I was like, okay. So we started digging, and what we found was that vast majority of the products, headphone products for kids on the market, were mostly designed to hit a price point, a low price point, or designed to be cute, and not really designed as to be premium or long lasting or anything like that. They had a lot of like a lot of kids products, they just kind of exude disposability.
Aren't kids kind of in the disposable? I mean, because look, they don't pay for it. They don't.
Children are worth it. Don't pollute.
I mean, that seems to be the mindset. Kids really don't, value things like that, and so they tend to be careless with them. Did you factor that into your thoughts as well, Tom?
Sure, we did, and that drove us were durable, in addition to being higher quality. But there's also even cheaper headphones at 20, 30, 40 bucks. Nobody really wants to just be throwing 20, 30 bucks out in the garbage every 2 or 3 months when they get broken or lost. So to focus on quality, and also just once with that as the starting point, we said, okay, so if we're going to get into the kids headphone market, what does it mean to have a quality kids headphone product besides durability? Where else can you go? And that was really where Jason led the charge on a lot of the engineering.
Okay, so I guess, Jay, my first question is, what makes a set of headphones what makes them designed for children? I mean, how are they different than, let's say, adult headsets, other than maybe the size of the head? Are children's ears different than adults? Do they have different requirements? I mean, how did you approach this?
I think that's where I pick up. Yeah, obviously the size is important. Certainly the clamping force, and using the softest available, leather surfaces. Certainly the clamping force, and using the softest available, leather surfaces, just marshmallow soft, so that in a kid's head that, this thing is comfortable for as long as they want to wear it. I was in kind of the perfect position where my eldest child, my daughter, is almost 3, and what a wonderful vested interest to have in starting with a blank sheet of paper and designing this headphone that I would have absolute confidence in giving to my own daughter, and know that there's nothing that she could do to potentially harm her hearing, hurt herself with it in any way. So, things like wireless rather than a wired connection. So we went with a Bluetooth headphone. For her comfort, the kid's size, the softest leather surfaces were considerations. A lot of children's products actually don't have a Bluetooth out, for some of the toy-like products. So we did include a cable, and even over the cable, we're limiting the output of the headphone to 85 dB. Now, the 85 dB limit on these headphones is something to give parents confidence. Give this to your child, connect to a Bluetooth source, and you're absolutely protected in any situation, so that they're not going to play louder than that threshold level or that maximum level. But that's only 1/3 of the equation. The equation is actually 3 parts that make these really protect hearing health and have a bundle of hearing health technologies that make them great for kids. So the first one that I've mentioned is this limit at 85 dB. However,
wait. So
go ahead.
So you're saying when you limit it to 85 dB, so even if they try to crank up the volume, there's some sort of limiter in there that's going to keep it at that level. It can't produce anything louder. Will they hear higher volume through it, or how do you handle that?
Absolutely, it's a digital limiter. It's a dynamic range controller that was fully tunable. So we've got a really sophisticated chipset in there with a sophisticated digital signal processor from a CSR, Cambridge Sound Labs. They're one of the premier maker of Bluetooth chipsets and technologies. So I had a very powerful DSP that I was able to tune, and so tuning of that dynamic range controller, which both limits and compresses the sound depending on how you tune it, there's a bit of an art to making that work in the background so that for the majority of users, you don't hear that functioning. I guess the end story, though, is that, this deceptively simple looking product with just a few controls is really packed with technology.
You still hear the sound that's going to be pleasant to listen to?
That's right. Yeah, it's a matter
pleasant to listen to?
That's right. Yeah, it's a matter of tuning the clamp and unclamp of the limiter so that it works in the background, really slow release time. For the most part, 99 out of 100 listeners, you pretty much need to be in the industry or be an audiophile to hear it working. But that limiter, that DRC, is always in the background, keeping an eye on the income and limiting the output whenever it's required.
Okay. So you mentioned there were 3 things. That's one thing. What's the second thing?
Yeah, so the second thing is that this 85 dB would really be unusable in an open back headphone or in something where you've got ambient noise bleeding in. 85 dB is just loud enough that it probably would not be enough. So we concentrated on the material construction of the headphone to have a great deal of ambient noise, achieving an 82% ambient noise rejection with the headphone. And it was through careful selection of materials. We've actually got a dual material design. It's a plastic inner ear cup and then a metal outer for durability.
Mm-hmm.
So the all metal construction on the outside makes it very durable, and the couple layers of construction gives us a best in class, and we've measured a lot of headphones. We really have a best in class passive noise isolation with the headphone. So what that does for you, for the consumer, is that you can jump on an airplane with these, and the 85 dB, once you put these on your head, is all you need. You can jump on an airplane with these, and the 85 dB, once you put these on your head, is all you need. In fact, you're probably a click or two.
Really? Okay.
2 years ago, that kids would walk around with these headphones, and they'd be on-ear headphones or something like that. And pretty much you'd have to play it loud because, whatever environment you're in, if you're on a bus, if you're on, walking to school, what have you, traffic, I mean, it gets noisy. And if you just have these headphones that just blast up and it's going everywhere, I mean, you can barely, like, even though they're on your ears, you can barely hear it. You have to turn it way, way up just to drown everything else out. So
Thanks for that.
So
Thanks for that.
And I guess that's where the 85 decibels come in, because it's if you played anything louder and decibels come in because it's if you played anything louder, and I'm not sure if you really got to think that they're hearing, but kids when they're younger kind of think that their hearing is like they're always going to have good hearing. They're hearing noise in your ear, but that'll go away after a few days. Like you said that this market wasn't really being served. Like was there even a market? Like are kids really losing their hearing? Was there even a market? Are kids really losing their hearing? Just as a little offshoot.
There's a limited amount of data. There's something that I've seen on the a CDC-related website where they say that between 1993 and 2010, the number of kids with reported hearing loss 7 to 1 in 5, and there's no there was no analysis done on the causes of that, but one of the assumed factors is the increase in use of earbuds and headphones by kids as personal digital iPhones, iPads, iPods, whatever have become so commonplace. Back in the 90s, that didn't exist for kids. There's no.
Yeah. Well, I guess 85 dB is the magic number, and what Ben was saying was true. I mean, kids think they're indestructible, and they think they always. And that's another mindset. I mean, they think they can do anything and not suffer the consequences. And so many of them have grown up later on and to have really terrible hearing loss, especially from going to the big concerts and and just listening to the loud sounds and blasting, and they pay the price later on. You protect them so much, of course, but obviously getting on a set of headsets that are not going to blast them out. Did you get the response though from them when they tried it on and said, "Oh, it's not loud enough. I want them louder"? I mean, what kind of response have you been getting from the kids trying on the Puro sound headsets?
Nothing but good. We have. I am yet to see a single piece of customer feedback, either from kids or from parents, saying anything about the volume not being loud enough. It's just that these sound good. A fair amount of queries from parents saying these sound really good. I would like a pair. things like that. Nothing about the volume not being loud enough.
Could it be that they turn the volume up because the sound quality from other headsets is not good, and so they figure they can compensate with louder volume? If you have a really good sounding pair of headsets, my feeling is you don't really need to crank the volume up because you're hearing what you want to hear. Is that fair? Is that a fair assessment?
Perfect segue, Craig. That leads us to the third bullet point, the three basically technologies that we incorporated in the headphone for hearing health. The third is that we've incorporated and we followed what we defined as the Puro balanced response. And so one of the major issues that plagues on-ear, over-ear, on-ear, and in-ear products, anytime you take a transducer and you clamp it to your head or stick it in your ear, the bass reinforcement, which in a normal room would begin to occur below 200 hertz, sometimes as low as 100 hertz. In larger rooms, begin to occur below 200 hertz, sometimes as low as 100 hertz. In larger rooms, that moves all the way up to 600, 800, or 1,000 hertz. So you have this preponderance of mid-bass. You have such a big lump of energy in the frequency response at 300, 400, 500, 600 hertz that you're masking the vocal region. So you're watching a movie and you're struggling to hear dialogue while there's music playing, or you're listening to a song and you're struggling to pick out the lyrics. What people do is they don't have a graphic equalizer usually on their their mobile devices where they're using these most of the time. So they just turn the volume up, and they're really damaged by trying to punch through. You just make the problem worse by turning the mid-bass up along with those vocals. So the Puro balanced response eliminates that muddy mid-bass section, and we target a response that's based on listening to a quality pair of loudspeakers in a tuned listening room. That's basically how we arrived at the frequency response that we're targeting for the headphone.
Okay. This is off of the fact that they don't have to blast their eardrums open with something like this because they're hearing the mid-range. And you're right, there is no graphic equalizer on a lot of the devices, although some, I know every version of iTunes does have an equalizer, although it's hidden. You have to, it's a separate window and you have to call it out, and then you can play with it, and you have different equalization. They have some presets which are
predictable, and even with some songs, like probably my favorite part about this 85 this Magic 85 number is that sometimes you really don't know that there's this Magic 85 number is that sometimes kind of limited. Then I've been victim to this too. You start up a random video and it starts out with some guy howling at the top of his lungs. I've been victim to this too. You start up a random video and it starts out with some guy howling at the top of his lungs and blows your speakers out. Like by limiting that, it could save it could save some ear bleed.
Yeah, I think so. Jay and Tom, I got a question for you in the chat room. Obviously, as we grow older, the person's audio characteristics or range, I guess, changes. Not always, but I think for the most part, there is some degradation in westerns and of times long ago when we didn't have loud music and the people could hear sounds almost miles away. You could hear something click when people were tracking. I think one of the reasons their hearing was so good because things were very, very quiet compared to the way things are now. But as the audio range changes, over a person's lifetime, do you anticipate making or optimizing headsets for different age groups? Jay?
Absolutely. We're in development on an adult now. So we do have some different technologies that we'll be implementing on the adult headsets. I won't, the adult headset is not going to cannibalize the children's headset sales. So I'll reveal just a little teaser for you. With the kids headsets, we've clamped this down and we've said, look, we are being given the option to listen the level that we would like to, even if we're going to venture into the intermediate zone, maybe not the danger zone, but maybe we want to enjoy music a little louder for a short period of time. And most studies have indicated that for a short period of time, that is okay. So we're going to be releasing very soon the first headphone that will indicate to the user how loud you're listening. Every headphone in the market today comes with a little slip of paper warning you that excessive exposure to loud music can cause noise-induced hearing loss. If exposure to loud music can cause noise-induced hearing loss, well, we'll be the first company providing you feedback on just how loud you're listening.
Yeah. I remember back in the days, they had different ringtones that they would sell, and they were classified as ringtones that only kids could hear. Adults couldn't hear the ringtones.
On that subject, Tommy, maybe you've seen some of these studies. I have read recently that the current thinking in the medical field is that there is not such thing as age-related hearing loss. It is all.
Yeah.
There are a few other factors, but the majority of what they originally thought, that just as you got older, your hearing would drop off, all your high frequency would drop off, and that is now being refuted.
Right. I think so. Tom.
Refuted.
Right. I think so. Tom. So Jay was just asking what was it? The high frequencies. They had phones where high frequencies. Yeah. Tom's right. Tom, you with us? Oh, did we lose Tom? Well, I guess we lost him. Jay, are you with us?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Sorry about that. Yeah, I'm still here.
Yeah, Tom, we lost Tom, so Ben's trying to get him back for some reason. In the meantime, so you're on your own for. So you're on your own for now, Jay. So
that's all right.
Okay, so continue on. I know you talked about some of the high frequencies. We were talking about ringtones. They were selling ringtones that adults, only the kids could hear and the adults couldn't hear, and those actually work.
That's right.
Okay, yeah. Tom, we got you back now.
Yes.
Okay. What happened? He okay.
He came in to say goodnight and put his hand pressed the wrong button.
Love. Okay. So anyway, Jay, why don't you ask? You made a point. Why don't you ask it again so Tom can hear it?
Yep.
Oh, yeah, Tom. I was. I'm not sure if you're familiar with any of the studies, but the point that I was making was that the medical field now is refuting that most hearing loss is age-related. Rather, they're saying what originally was classified as age.
Long accumulation of it. Yes, that's. I've heard the same thing. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
There's still one of the things that I've learned from working with one of our partners, the Hearing Health, is that there is still a great deal of new information that's being learned from research ongoing right now into the causes of hearing loss, as well as the potential long-term changes in outcomes that the medical world could see from that.
Okay. Well, I'll tell you what. So you still have this heavy emphasis on healthy ears. Why the heavy emphasis on healthy ears, Tom?
It's a good question. You know what? It's important to us. The third co-founding partner, who's not on the phone with us, Dave. One of the things that he brings to the table is, in the course of us developing the company and working on our first products, learned that his 19-year-old daughter has actually experienced some hearing loss. And there's cause that they've been able to discern based on what she's gotten. That he just assumes it's the long use of headphones that as she was growing up, she was always wearing headphones. He would drive her to school and tell her to turn it down, and all that sort of stuff. And now that she's 19, she's actually got some substantial hearing loss in one of her ears. And so this is a big motivator for him, very personally, but we've also just had a really strong reaction from people as we've been introducing the company to the marketplace.
All right, Tom, listen, we're at the bottom of the hour. We're going to continue this after the break. This is the Computer America Show on the Blog Talk Radio Network. We will be back with Puro Sound Labs right after this.
Don't complain about your cable bill going up and up and up. Do something about it. Grab a pencil and jot down this special number, 1-866-663. My cable TV rates go up, the better digital satellite TV looks. So, disable the cable and get more of your favorite channels in 100% digital quality for less money. Call 1-866-663-MyTV right now to sign up for packages starting as low as $19.99. To 4 rooms, and there's no equipment to buy. That includes your free HD TV upgrade, your free DVR upgrade, and your free professional installation. And the best part, the pristine digital picture and sound. Call 1-866-663-MyTV. So, what are you waiting for? Pull out your major credit or debit card. Call 1-866-663-MyTV. 1-866-663-MyTV. Disable the cable, cut costs, and get more. Call 1-866-663-MyTV. 1-866-663-MyTV.
Host of the Computer America Show. You have important meetings to schedule. Your company's getting ready for its IPO, and you're in charge of the PTA fundraiser this month. So how do you coordinate everyone to be available at the same time? Are you still using emails, phone calls, even text messages to schedule meetings with a group of people? That's so great, huh? It's a fact that every day, millions of people suffer from scheduling headaches. Well, with Doodle, scheduling meetings with a group of people is quick and easy. With Doodle, you can easily propose available times to each member. Each is quick and easy. With Doodle, you can easily propose available times to each member. Each one the times that they're available, and then you simply pick the time that works best for the group, all in an easy-to-read display that integrates with your existing calendar. Nothing could be more simple. Give Doodle a try for free, and like millions of Doodle users, you'll truly see how easy it is to find the perfect date and time for all your meetings. That's www.doodle.com.
Aha! This is Marty Winston with a News Tips Bulletin Review for Computer America. This time, the Antec Cooler. That's K-U-H-L-E-R. The Cooler H2O 12 liquid cooler. A car's radiator helps cool the engine by circulating water through the engine, then into small pipes behind an area of metal fins with a heat exchanger system from a big set of blades by the appropriately named fan belt. Fins and fans have always been the basis of CPU cooling, and in some cases, pumped fluids as well. Antec sent the king of their liquid cooler line, the Cooler H2O 1250, with dual plus-size 20mm 600 to 2400 RPM fans and a 4.7 by 11-inch radiator permanently sealed for no user maintenance. You can either replace dual case fans or mount this piggyback behind them, and you can configure its cold plate head's bracket. For most current, copper plate on the CPU face of the head helps heat transfer, and its top side has a multicolor LED that you can use its software to configure to show thermal status at a glance. Bottom line, the Antec Cooler H2O 1250 liquid CPU cooling solution stays quiet most of the time, but may speak up if your overclocking goes crazy and you thermally abuse the CPU. This is Marty Winston with the News Tips Bullet Review for Computer America. This is Marty Winston with the News Tips Bullet Review for Computer America.
Welcome back to the Computer America. Here we are talking to Puro right now, Puro Sound Labs, and we have Jason and Tom here. They're both the co-founders of Puro Labs, Puro Sound Labs. There we go. And we were just getting into, actually had some personal experience with children having hearing loss, supposedly due to, listening to because I guess the reason that we kind of have to keep saying we assume music for a good 2 or 3 years down, and made them listen to 100 decibel music for a good 2 or 3 years and see how their hearing was at the end. Even if it's not crushing your head, holding your head loud, just prolonged above average sound can eventually damage your hearing. So we kind of say assume, but it's a good assumption either way. And this question may come off a little crass, and Jason or Tom, whichever one has a better understanding of the behind it. Let's say someone may be concerned, or someone knows that their child has some sort of hearing loss at a young age, and they try to get these headphones for them. Like, admittedly, these are not medical devices, but would Puro headsets actually be useful, or is it kind of too late at that point?
Yeah, it's hard for us to say that it's that hasn't been part of our testing, and it certainly wasn't our original scope.
Okay.
Hearing loss is just scope.
Okay.
Hearing loss is just degrees of hearing loss, and there's different frequencies, different types of hearing loss, and what our headphones are good for is really just preventing further loss in the case of somebody who has some hearing loss at all.
Well, you're not
kind of a tough question to answer because that's not
yeah.
Let me add to that our website, purosound.com, where you can ask an audiologist. So we've actually got an audiologist who's partnered with us, and she actually will respond to phone calls and messages. She can message back and actually answer specific questions like that to individuals, and that's a feature that we've added to our website. That's
nice too. But again, I want to emphasize that. I mean, you're not selling medical devices. I mean, these are primarily really high quality headsets, and they're designed for kids initially. Your first run is for children. You're coming out with an adult version as well. But if you have a medical problem or you have hearing problems, that obviously you need to see a doctor or see an audiologist. Normal person, human being, why put your healthy ears at risk when you can wear a device like this from Puro Sound Labs that's going to, basically keep you healthy, and not be a source of a problem.
And there's certainly some to be said for preventative rather.
We got into this for headphones. We like headphones. We like sound. We targeted, this first releases for the kids market. When we first did our initial announcements, we were coming to market and what the products were going to be. Our initial target for outreach was audio places. We also did outreach to mommy bloggers and got a good, strong reaction from them. But one of the things that really surprised us, without any kind of targeting, we were just hit with a wave of audiologists reaching out to us saying, hey, this is cool. It's about time. How can we help? All in a way that was really unexpected. And for us, we didn't really know how to react. We had a hard time spelling and saying audiologist, actually. So kind of a surprising reaction in that part of the market.
No, yeah, I understand. So tell us a little bit about the adult version of the headsets that you're working on right now.
Yeah, so I threw out a little teaser earlier. It's a headset that's very similar to the children's headset. It is to adults, of course, and then we've actually got some provisional patents on a methodology of indicating to the user the output level that you're listening at. So I think we'll leave the wraps until our press release on the product, but that should be that should be by July of this year.
All right.
Looking forward to that.
Yeah.
Did you guys talk about the specifics of your BT 2200? About is it wired, wireless? Where some of the design aspects, like just give people an idea of like the the craftsmanship and the engineering that went into building these headsets? Give people an idea of like the craftsmanship and the engineering that went into building these headsets.
I'd love to. Yeah, thanks for the opportunity. You know, we talked about a little bit about, you know, I had my daughter as a subject as I designed these, you know, as a subject in mind and an end user consumer. So, you know, we talked about the kid size and the very softest available leather surfaces. What we use is actually a protein leather, which is actually a combination of an egg protein and a plastic that produces this incredibly supple leather material that dry out like an actual leather. And it's an incredibly soft. You guys have samples of the products, so you've experienced this material. It's not only a material that has a lot of longevity and durability, but it allows us to build a marshmallow soft, you know, ear cup that conforms to the ear, helping us to achieve the really high. And then we also incorporated, you know, all premium materials. When we looked at the market, we saw that too many products in the market were just disposable, and they were clearly built to hit a price point, not to perform well or be durable. So the outer surface of the headphone, it's all metal where it's not leather, and we've done a really nice anodized aluminum, which is great in a couple ways. It's super scratch resistant. It's very difficult to scratch this hard anodized aluminum surface. And even better, in a field of products that are all shiny, you've all experienced the fingerprints on the screen of your phone or on shiny plastic or black plastic surfaces. This anodized aluminum surface shows 0 fingerprint. So, you know, like fridges from 20 years ago, you know, they don't show fingerprints, which is a nice. Fridges from 20 years ago, you know, they don't show fingerprints, which is a nice relief for mom and dad giving these to kids. Fold flat, so they're easy to throw in a book bag or a case to travel. They have a really long battery life. I'm still surprised how I have a couple of these laying around the lab, and I've never picked one up and it's been dead, despite how much I've used them. I try to remember to charge them occasionally, but we're getting 18 hours battery life at full volume out of the kid's headphone. So, you know, you're going to be able to go on a car trip, or you're going to be able to take a short flight and come back without worrying about carrying chargers and that sort of thing. We've also flight and come back without worrying about carrying chargers and that sort of thing. We've also built a Puro app for iOS that allows you to actually tailor the sound further if you choose to. So we have an equalizer app that's available. It's a player and equalizer app. The tuning of the headphone was done primarily through, we've got a really powerful digital signal processor, as I talked about earlier. That's where the dynamic range controller resides. We've also got a 6-band parametric EQ in there that I've tuned to achieve the Puro balanced response curve. So all of those things put together, we really feel that we've built a truly premium product in the children's headphone space.
Really, I think that you know. So I also noticed you had earbuds on there that are tell us, are these something that you're planning to use as well?
These are not limited to 85 dB. This is an adult product. This is our first adult product, I guess. This in-ear earphone product. This is a passive product. This is not an amplified product. So hitting the Puro response curve was considerably more difficult in a passive product where I didn't have 6 bands and I could just turn the dials and hit the target curve exactly. What we actually had to do in the in-ear product was we used a dual dynamic driver setup. So we've actually got a woofer and a tweeter in each of your ears, and we've actually tuned them out of phase, a woofer and a tweeter in each of your ears, and notch out that excessive amount of mid bass. And we were able to actually through a process we call, what did we call it in our marketing? Anyway, it was phase optimized, I believe is what we called it. We optimized marketing. Anyway, it was phase optimized, I believe is what we called it. We optimized the phase to actually notch out that mid-bass frequency response to exactly where we wanted it. And at the end of the day, we've got a product that has an inexpensive and very elegant solution to a problem that plagues all in-ear earphones.
And
so along,
go ahead.
Along the hearing health line, you know, a lot of people would say, "Oh my goodness, an in-ear product. This is, you know, aren't the in-ear products even more dangerous and problematic?" And the answer is to some degree, yes. And that's why we did spend a lot of time making sure that we could, in fact, hit the Puro response curve, which allows you to listen at overall lower levels because you can still hear the vocals because, you know, you've vocal, that mid-range vocal region. But we've also made sure that that product, when it's plugged in your ear, also has a very, very high level of passive ambient noise rejection. In fact, with that product, we're achieving a 4% ambient noise rejection at 1 kilohertz. So that also among its peers is best in class.
Now, I think you mentioned a little bit about something called you mentioned on your website, the Puro balanced response. That exactly.
Yeah. So what that is, you know, we looked at these headphones on ear, over ear, as well as the in-ear earphones, and we found that the one predominant thing that was making people not like or dislike earphones, in-ear earphones in particular, was this preponderance of mid-bass. And you can get used to it to some degree, but it doesn't sound in theater or in a home, in most natural environments that we encounter. If you bring a piano or a cello or a standing bass into that room and you play it, you do have reinforcement of that sound. The frequencies below which you have sound reinforcement, and below which I mean, you know, below 100 hertz or below 80, you know, these kind of frequencies, that frequency where you start to have room gain and reinforcement of those bass frequencies is called the Schroeder frequency. I believe the German scientist was Heinrich Schroeder in the 1950s who came up with frequency. I believe the German scientist was Heinrich Schroeder in the 1950s who came up with this. And I couldn't have pulled that off the top of my head. I have looked at that recently. And so the Schroeder frequency, you know, in a room is somewhere in a really small home, you know, it might be at 200 hertz, and in the larger home theater, it's going to be 100 or 80, 100 hertz. Unfortunately, when you just take a native, pretty flat transducer and you pop it on your head without any tailoring, when you haven't really looked at the frequency response closely, that Schroeder frequency bumps all the way up to 800 or 1,000 hertz or higher, especially in the in-ear products. And so that is actually what's causing this lump of energy in the mid-bass region. So to combat that, you know, in the active products, like our Bluetooth product, we're actually notching that out with a parametric equalizer. In the passive products, it's considerably more involved to actually go in and find a methodology to reject that extra energy and those frequencies that you don't need. And we found that when we've done that and when we've accomplished that, we have built products that do sound very natural. They sound like you're listening to a really great pair of loudspeakers in a tuned listening room. And so that has become our goal for all the products, to achieve this Puro balanced response curve and get rid of this unnatural, thick, muddy mid-bass and get rid of this unnatural, thick, muddy mid-bass that tends to plague most headphone and earphone products.
Let me ask you this, because I know there are earbud companies that they charge a fortune for them. Well over $1,000. That they say is they send you,
and then they take the DNA from your molding.
They mold it directly for the of your ear canal, and they claim that this is the best possible thing that you could do for the best possible musical effect. From an engineering point, Jay, what are your thoughts on that? Is that overkill?
Like I said, we're using only 2 transducers in each ear to accomplish the Puro balanced response. Now, some of these other products are getting close to the Puro balanced response, and some of them sound quite good. I have $2,000 in-ear monitors that had, I think it was 8 drivers on each side. Now,
oh my gosh.
what most of these in-ear monitors, what these in-ear monitors are using is balanced armature, which is a hearing aid technology device. And the hearing aid technology devices actually do have a really premium sound in that they how do I describe it? Some clarity that you generally don't have with the dynamic drivers. However, they have very limited frequency response. You cannot build a device with one of those and cover the frequency response. Believe me, we tried. It will require 2 or more of those.
Right. I mean, if you spend $2,000 on a headset, I mean,
that make these balanced armatures.
Right. I mean, if you spend $2,000 on a headset, I mean, and it's not made out of gold or something, it's from a medical point of view. Tom, any thoughts on something like that?
Well, the advantages, either adding more components or having a custom fit to the outer ear to hold it in place, I think, and an audio quality standpoint and a comfort standpoint, with replaceable multi-sized tips that go on the earphones.
Yeah.
And move on up to higher and higher quality in some instances. But there's a decent amount of products that cost a fair amount that don't deliver. It's kind of like wine, I think, that there's a fair amount of wines that get sold just based on the perception of the the label and the perception of the price. That the higher you go, the better you go, when it's not necessarily the case.
Yeah, we should ask that of our wine taster and Linux expert Marcel Gagne, who'll be on the show tomorrow. But let me ask you this, because we have only a few minutes left, and I really think this is important for people to hear. So because one of the mantras of your company is that you're gonna keep your headsets at affordable prices. You're not going to go into $1,000 price range or higher for your headsets. They're all going to be, affordable, and that of course at the same time, you don't have to have spend thousands of dollars for a headset. LGJ, because I'm going to finish this with you on selecting a technology that is really outstanding, yet it's still affordable. It's that little seesaw. I mean, how do you find that sweet spot?
That's a great question, Craig. And a good example of that is our new to the market. We're just launched, and we took 2 transducers to achieve the frequency response that a lot of other folks are using 3, 4, 6, or 8 transducers to achieve. And so a lot of it is looking for elegance and looking for economies of scale and looking for creative engineering. I also, from evaluating a lot of products in market, I question, especially in the kids space, how many of these products are just source and sell. It doesn't appear that there's a lot of engineering going into a lot of the products in the market. They're finding something that meets the price point and they sell it into retail. Sound Labs is part of our name. We're Puro Sound Labs, and every product that we bring to market, we're going to, like you said in the opener, we're going to take as many iterations as it takes to make sure that we can achieve, that value and that balanced response and all of the things that are important to our end.
Again, the website is Puro Sound, PUROSOUND.com. Of course, you go to ComputerAmerica.com. We have the links, excuse me, to Puro Sound Labs up there, so you can check it out for yourself. And also the adult versions of your first, also the adult versions of your first adult product over the year headsets are going to be out. What you say within the next month or so?
We have the in-ear monitor. The earphone is actually launching within the month, and we have another adult product that will be launching about midsummer.
All right, and again, if you just take a look at the headset, just looking at them, they look really, really nice. The finishing on the headsets look primo, high quality stainless steel, leather. I mean, they look high. They're very high quality. They're not this plastic kind of product. And again, the typical cost for, let's say, for the kids, what is someone going to spend for the Puro headsets for the children, for kids?
A carrying case that goes with that too, but $79.99 is what they go for. And
again, you can use them as built-in Bluetooth, but they do have a wire, right? So you can connect them directly to an audio source. Is the wire as a 3.5 millimeter jack, or is it USB? Which is it?
It's 3.5 millimeter, and it's got the built-in sound limitation on that too.
Right, exactly. And the adult headsets, they're going to be out in a couple of months. What do you project those to cost about?
We're still working on finalizing the materials and the engineering on that. And once we finish that, we'll know what the price is going to be.
Well, maybe we'll have you back so you can talk a little about your new headsets and the pricing and everything. But again, check them out at purosound.com. I have a pair here. I've listened to them. All of the kids version, they sound really, really great. And they all of the kids version, they sound really, really great. I think that definitely worth the price. Gentlemen, I want to thank you so much for being with us here on Computer America tonight. It was very educational.
Thank you for having us, Craig and Ben.
All right, and as I said, when the adult version come back, we'll have you back on. Okay. Take care.
Fantastic.
All right, take care. Good night.
Thanks, guys.
Good night.
Good night. Bye-bye.
Good night.
All right, so there you go. Puro Sound is the company. Puro Sound Labs, actually, and PUROSOUND.com is the website, and you can check it out for yourself. Ben, I haven't had a chance to load up the stories yet, so why don't you tell us what are some of the news stories that we're looking forward to coming? Oh, wait, I do have. I did look at this one here. There's one we're going to be talking about, a white Halo Xbox One bundle.
Yeah, even I'm eyeing that one. That one is sexy.
Wow, yeah, I mean, because typically Xbox Ones are black. This is a white unit, and it's got a really interesting bundle. We'll be talking about that one.
We also saw the story about the concrete that heals itself. We had, but we didn't get a chance to get to it. If you're a victim of robocaller, you may get refunds. Lots of good stories.
Yeah, all right. You're listening to the Computer America Show. We've got another News Tips Bullet review from Marty Winston coming up as well. And you're listening to the Computer America Show on the Blog Talk Radio Network, on the IRN Radio Network. Ben and I will be right back with another News Tips Bullet review from Marty Winston. Stay with us.
Broadcasting live. It's the old.
Stay with us.
Broadcasting live. It's the radio talk show on computers to air every weeknight. Computer America, hosted by national columnist Craig Crossman. The first hour's behind us, but there's still more of tech news, tech talk, and your phone calls. We're being beamed nationwide at ComputerAmerica.com. You got computer problems? Bring them on. You're listening to ComputerAmerica.com.
Hello and welcome into Hour 2. Longest run nationally syndicated radio talk show on this is nationally syndicated radio talk show on this is, and we continue on again. Sound talking about really cool headsets designed for kids. Don't exceed 85 decibels. They're not going to blow out their little ears listening to them, because this is damage going to loud concerts and everything, and this solves a lot of that. If you're a concerned parent,
You know how those old people go out there. It's like, you kids and your loud music. Blah, blah, blah. Like, it's a trend. Kids do listen to loud music, and they like everyone around them to also listen to loud music. So hopefully these guys with their products, they're definitely doing something good. And when they mentioned earlier that they were doing something with products that doing something good, and when they mentioned earlier that they were doing something with products that would, like, that area, that sector was being underserved. I think noise limiting headphones, like headphones that would keep your kids' hearing safe, that was, like, I had never heard of devices like that. There's definitely a need for it. I mean, we hear it all the time, but these guys are the first ones I've heard, and they have an awesome looking product.
Yeah, it is an awesome looking product. By the way, how many times this happened to me today? I was driving the car. A car pulls up. Boom, 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 boom.
Oh man, fireworks are going off? That's not good.
They're at their speakers turned up so loud that their car is just shaking. It's shaking my car. I mean, it's that loud, and you wonder, what are they doing? And it's, kids in the car, and I'm going, what are they doing? What do they do? I mean, that to their hearing. I mean, I didn't, I liked loud music, but I didn't have my car blasting like that.
A lot of bass, like that's their favorite part. They'll play songs that are bass heavy, and then they'll get the giant subwoofers and they'll put them in their car somewhere, and then you feel their car coming before water, and like the ripples form in it.
Yes.
Like that kind of thing happens, and then they pull up next to you at a stoplight, and like your head vibrates, like it feels like your brain is being shaken. Like your head vibrates, like it feels like your brain is being shaken.
What the Dr. Dre headsets? I mean, the
Beats by Dre.
Beats by Dre. Yeah, I mean,
in the area of protecting kids' ears, and they're also in the neighborhood of about $350.
Wow.
Like they're like you could buy like 5 of Puro headsets compared to a set of Beats.
And Beats, they're really big too. It's like the old boombox you used to carry on your shoulder back in the 70s. I mean,
they're totally over the ear headphones. They're not on ear or in ear. They're over ear.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, okay. So you like music too, but you don't blast it like that. I mean, in your car.
Are you kidding? I'm doing the show right now, and let my system sound, just so I don't, give myself a headache. My system sound is only at 8 out of 100.
Out of 100. Okay, there it is.
So like for me, at 8
out of
100.
Out of 100. Okay, there it is. Would you say you're atypical?
I love quiet, so.
Would you say you're atypical?
That's why I've always been picked last for dodgeball, and picked last for football, and picked last for the dance. It was.
But you like country.
They were afraid of my raw power. That's how I coped with the situation I was facing.
Yes, but you like country.
That's how I coped with the situation I was facing.
Yes, but you like country
music fans out there, but it's gotten to the point where it's redundant and pedantic. I just don't enjoy country music anymore.
The pig in the hall left me, and okay, so it's redundant.
That kind of music nowadays. It's all about parties and red Solo cups and drinking and going out to the crick, and it's just not listened to anymore.
So maybe
country used to be so, and I don't even care that we're all feeling and emotion. Like that was the kind of music you listen to when you were experiencing emotional pain. Like if you had emotions, there was a country song for you. Nowadays, it's all essentially pop. Like it's catchy, it has a good beat, but all the songs from all the major artists run together nowadays. There's no differentiating them.
Well, what about somebody or
Garth Brooks is good. He has a few songs that are okay, but what's dominating the country charts is are the pop songs. It's country music is just like any other music industry where it is based on record sales, and those who sell more albums and those who sell more singles get more airtime on radio. And it's kind of a self-fulfilling prophecy that at the end of the day, the majority of people out there enjoy pop, generic, bland country. It's I'm atypical, but whatever sells is what's played on the radio, and not a lot of good stuff is played on the radio nowadays.
What about Willie
again,
Nelson?
all personal feelings.
Yeah, Willie Nelson. I mean, like all that stuff.
Willie Nelson is no longer played. Garth Brooks she kind of started the bleed over, like the extreme bleed over of pop into country. So it's hey, look, if the majority like it, then I'll just be the silent dissenter and I'll go listen to other things that I do enjoy. But hey, the majority seems to like what's coming out of country nowadays. I just don't really consider that country.
Right. Well, what kind of music do you like?
EDM.
Okay. All right. Well, okay. A little off topic. In their classes, I just found this really great website that allows you to listen to music. We actually use it for the show at was it Raza? Soundza. Yeah, Soundza. That was it Raza? Soundza.
That one actually
and it allows you to pick different genres and check it.
Yeah, that's a weird site. That one actually it kind of creates its own playlist based on what you're doing instead. Like if you're trying to relax at home, it has a playlist already set up for you. If you're trying to get pumped up for a workout, it has a playlist already set up for you. Like it doesn't have a playlist that you can kind of manage, and then it gives you music.
Oh, all right. Even though you can't make your own playlist is what you're saying.
I assume.
If you can't make your own playlist, is what you're saying.
I assume.
Okay. Well, again, if you are you're listening to the Computer America Show, we're going to do some computer and technology news. We've got interesting stories, and again, our contests are in full swing. We now have posting automatically to Facebook and some of our other social media. If you want to get in on the action and you want to win prizes, all you really have to do is go to our webpage at computeramerica.com and click on the link, our social link there, and all of the different the social page. In other words, it's you just go there and under the interact menu, social media contests, just go there and you'll see all of them there for you. Or you can go to the little charms that are on the right side of any page at computeramerica.com. And right now we're promoting Facebook and YouTube. So if you click on the Facebook link, you'll go to our Facebook page, and all you have to do is like it. That's it. Once you do that, then you're registered for the contest. Or you can go to the YouTube page and subscribe to our YouTube video feed, and that's it. You're in. And you only have to do it once, and then from then on, you're registered and with a chance to win some really great prizes. Right now, on every Friday, we're giving away the Logitech T. So this is one of the many prizes that we're doing. We're also finishing up our Logitech contest that ends this Friday, and we're going to give away 3 great prizes from Logitech, and then we're going to fold into the social media contest the prizes we give away from Logitech. So there'll be more prizes to give away, and it's going to make really make things really easy to do. Okay, so anything else, or we're just want to do some news, Ben?
Yeah, I just a little update on my app. It's going swimmingly. Crowd A source funding has come to a conclusion. I received approximately $0 to get my Paws and Claws pet app up and running. So, but we expected that. That's merely part of creating an app. Anyone out there? So yeah, I think that's our update for that. I'll keep you apprised of when we start getting animals in people's houses without their knowledge. That's the goal. That's the dream.
I can't wait.
I can't wait either. Let's
do news.
All right.
Tonight's computer and technology news is brought to you by Slimware Utilities, the official optimization software of Computer America. You can visit them at slimwareutilities.com to clean, speed up, and optimize your Windows system for free. We recommend that you download all of them and use them because they truly will clean, speed up, and optimize your Windows system. And you'll be very happy that you did it, and you'll thank us for it. Slimwareutilities.com. And you'll thank us for it. Slimwareutilities.com. And then it's coming to the United States, the white Halo Xbox One bundle. Okay. So
Yay!
this by okay. So
Yay!
this by
proper. So that one was like the Monty Python. Yeah, it's like yay! Yay!
Okay. Pretty much. Well, this is a story by Edgar Allan, and he goes on to say, hey, it's no secret, people love white gadgets, and as you know, most of the Xbox ones are all black. So, but and he says, in case you missed out on the Xbox One Sunset Overdrive bundle, what color was that? What color was the Xbox One Sunset Overdrive?
I believe it's Sunset Overdrive.
Okay, but it was still black.
No, it kind of multicolored. Like it was designed.
Okay.
Like with decals involving Sunset Overdrive, so it's kind of multicolored, graffiti, tie-dye kind of deal.
Okay, cool. That's what it would sound like.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know. Microsoft just today revealed, about 4 hours ago, actually, a kit that's loaded with a white version of the Xbox One console. Not only the box itself, but the hand controller is also white. It also includes Halo Master Chief Collection. Now, what's in the Master Chief Collection, Ben?
That was their latest release instead of Halo. For Halo 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, and I believe it even came with Reach as well. It was like all the previous Halo games rolled into one Halo game. So, and it also came with some kind of tweaks and some balancing and some adjusting, but you could play pretty much every Halo game from the Halo Master Chief Collection.
Would you recommend, if people were just getting into Halo 3, 4, or should they just start with the latest version?
It's not just a first, like I would recommend that with other first-person shooters like Call of Duty and Battlefield. You could totally go and do that where those are pick up a controller, here are your weapons, and you'll have fun as you try to do better and better on the leaderboards. But with Halo, it's actually a story. Like it started out not so much a story, but then it really with Halo, it's actually a story. Like it started out not so much a story, but then it really grew and became a story, and it's grown since then. So there's a role-playing game side to Halo that I think everyone should experience. It's storytelling at its finest.
Okay.
And Halo and Halo 4 opened a lot more, and Halo 5 is coming out soon. So, like if you just want to blow people up, I mean, there are other games for that, and Halo does it well too. But RPG aside, yes, you should definitely play Halo 1, 2, 3.
Okay. All right.
RPG aside, yes, you should definitely play Halo 1, 2, 3.
Okay. All right. So it comes with Halo, the Master Chief gigabytes of storage. That's nice. Now, is that typical for Xbox One? What do they?
Yeah, that's all. I mean, my 360 gig hard drive,
wow.
And then you could upgrade that to 120 gig, right. But 500 gig, and then there are some ways that you can get even a terabyte, 1 terabyte hard drive for Xboxes. And I believe Xbox also allows you to do external hard drives as well. Okay. But 500 is a good start. Xbox allows you to do external hard drives as well. Okay. But 500 is a good start.
All right, so you get 500 with this and a 14-day Xbox Live Gold trial. Okay, so the Xbox Live Gold, that's the
you pretty much want that. Like, on and play Xbox Live games, you're pretty much going to guarantee, like the Netflix app, to go online and play Xbox Live games. You're pretty much going to guaranteed to want Xbox Gold.
Okay, now this it's special edition. Low price of $350. So you would save about $50. But the Edgar cautions us that you better hurry if you want it. As usual, Edgar cautions us that you better hurry if you want it. As usual, this will only be up for grabs in limited quantities. There you go. The White Halo Xbox One.
White Halo Xbox, no connect. Really, really cool. I mean, as far as Xbox consoles go, and people really do like the white consoles. Whenever there's a white phone that comes out or white anything, I don't know what kind of psychology goes into
White.
Like black is more technology. If you make a black phone or a black tablet or a black laptop, you're going to be okay. White, though, it just does something to people where it's like, oh, look at that thing, it's so special and interesting. I don't get it.
But you know what? You just pointed out a flaw. I'm going to get Xbox One, but the Kinect I'm going to buy for it's going to be black. It won't matter. So I'm going to have black and white.
You have to take your Kinect out and spray paint it yourself.
Yeah. Spray paint it white.
Arduous, I know.
Yeah. All right. There it is.
All right. So Xbox Store to Xbox. Yeah, no. So Xbox to Xbox. Xbox One antenna support becomes official with a $60 US TV tuner.
Oh, really? Okay.
So yeah, now they're launching an official Xbox One TV tuner.
Cool.
Yeah, you can turn for $60. It's apparently by some guy named Hopog or Hopage.
Hopog, that they have been around for years. It was actually named after Hopog, New York, I believe. And it's nice. But I've had them on cards that would put a TV. They would put a TV tuner into the video card to watch TV. Video cards that would put a TV. They would put a TV tuner into the video card to watch TV.
Pushing TV. Have him back on the show and say
exactly. But that's it. So go on.
Okay, so yeah, Hapag for $6, it connects to your Xbox One via a USB port, and it even has the throughput for if you have any kind of cable, like a traditional cable jack.
It's got
it has a throughput for coaxial cable, and you can then and apparently going through your Xbox has some benefits that you cannot get by just plugging your antenna directly into the television. The console provides a full channel guide. It can let you pause and rewind, so very limited. Up to 30 minutes. So limited DVR options. And they also let you stream to phones, tablets, computers in the same Wi-Fi network. Of course, using smart glass. Phones, tablets, and computers in the same Wi-Fi network. Of course, using smart glass.
Very nice.
Yeah. Sonic's $35 HomeWorks box. Out there, there's the Media Sonics $35 HomeWorks box. And that lets you tap into the channel guide and works with to other devices. Added features to the Xbox One. Now, like, I 60 what they were going for, but with the Xbox One, I think they're finally starting to achieve it, and that is being the command center, being the central console in your home entertainment system. Is finally central console in your home entertainment system is finally going to go completely through Xbox One. Like, they are not like nowadays, if you had something like this, you wouldn't need a cable box, you wouldn't need another game system, you wouldn't need, a computer. All of that stuff is rolled directly into an Xbox One. And again, these articles have been about Xbox One, so I'm focusing on them. The PlayStation has the same functionality through different devices.
Yep.
Oh, but these home entertainment,
the digital hub, your digital hub, all devices.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, exactly.
The next thing that will bring it really to the forefront is full-blown DVR capability through a console. So
Well, look,
through
you
a
got a
PlayStation or through an Xbox, being able to record shows, being able to replay shows, and being able to pause as long as you want on live television. Like as soon as you can do that, then the cable box is doomed.
Well, look, you got 500 gig average for the hard drive now for the Xbox One, and that's a lot of storage. So you should be able to have full-blown DVR support. And again, according to Jared Newman, who wrote this article, he says that a full-blown DVR support is rumored for later this year. So
can't wait for that to happen. But really, it's never been easier to be a cord cutter, and it's just getting easier.
Mhm. Wow, did you know that we can do graphics in the wow, did you know that we can do graphics in the chat room? Okay. Technology news brought to you by Slimware Utilities. And there's a picture this is from Engadget. Steve Dent wrote this. There's a picture of this girl screaming at her computer screen. I mean, really violently.
Oh, I think I played with her.
Yeah, and really violently.
Oh, I think I played with her.
Yeah, and gaming cooperatively makes you more sociable. She looks like anything but being social, but okay.
Although she's playing a racing game that, just looking at it, I don't believe is online compatible.
Well, so maybe they just took a
So it's just believe is online compatible.
Well, so maybe they just took a gaming has dark side, but he says it can also improve your spatial skills and reduce stress and even bring families together. I don't know, reducing stress. Do you find that playing games reduces stress, or do you find
totally? Totally.
Do you find that playing games reduces stress, or do you find
totally?
Really? Maybe it's. How does that reduce stress?
Well, I think in the moment.
How does that reduce stress?
Well, I think in the concluded the game, or you saved it and you feel like you've made some progress within the game, but after it's all, you've concluded the game, or you saved it and you feel like you've made some progress within the game, but after it's all said and done, like a cleanse.
Mm.
You know what I mean?
Well,
it may be like a cleansing of emotions, because after you turn it off, you're like, okay, that's done. That was I go on my life. It would that even horror genres reduce stress.
Well, there was these two make you friendlier, and the other one, it said it could ruin your brain. Go figure, So he thinks let's take the plus column, okay? Texas Tech researchers think that cooperative gameplay, whether in violent or nonviolent games, make people nicer. Okay, all right. So maybe that's because, well, of course you can vent. You're saying you can just vent, and so after you go, okay, and now I feel okay, and I can go into real life and not get anybody angry at me. Maybe that's it. But basically, he says it makes people nicer. That report says they playing with a helpful partner increases the expectation of others to reciprocate that pro-social behavior. Okay, so that's playing cooperatively rather than alone, even online, can stimulate gamers' empathy so much that it negates the aggressive effects of violent games. Okay. He's saying it makes you more. The other report says the way the game stimulates your brain, it may increase your risk to neurological disorders like Alzheimer's disease. Good grief!
It's true.
He says that gamers tend to navigate their environment using the brain's reward center rather than using spatial memory from the hippocampus. Like non-gamers. The results were hardly conclusive.
Wait.
Yeah.
Wrong. On the downside, because of the way the gaming stimulates your brain, it may increase your risk to neurological disorders like Alzheimer's. I've heard the opposite.
You have?
Yeah, like take games like Puro. Like you can't go across the board and say every genre is good for everything. Like, just because you're playing Pong means you'll never get dementia. No one's saying that. But there are games out there that actually encourage spatial evaluation or spatial memory in the game. like Portal, of course, spatial evaluation or spatial memory in the game. Like Portal, of course, is the easiest one that comes to mind. There are lots upon lots of games that are more maze and puzzle based, that are just like any kind of other, brain stimulating game. If it's a puzzle, I've got to read that.
It's may make you more attentive visually. That might be outweighed by the negative effects on your brain. Look, they had these two studies. They're both in juxtaposition. They're both disagreeing with each other. So who knows which one's right? Maybe they're both right. Maybe it only affects some people one way, and
obviously I'm going to be biased because I video games, and video games are a huge part of my daily life. But at the same time, it's I don't know. I've been leaning too far to one side, but I don't know. I've been leaning too far to one side, but leading to Alzheimer's, like playing video games leads to all like that. That is a very mid 80s at most. You know what I mean? Like to say that they lead to Alzheimer's, that's a very understudied segment. Strange.
It is strange and disturbing and worrisome. Well, and disturbing and worrisome. Well, in technology news brought to you by Slimware Utilities, the official optimization software of Computer America. We've got another news tips bulletin review from Marty Winston. We're going to be right back. Don't go anywhere. You're listening to Computer America. Looking for a best friend? Brother Wolf Animal Rescue has your best friend waiting just for you. The mission of Brother Wolf Animal Rescue is to help build a sustainable, no-kill community where no dogs or cats are ever killed for population control, where true euthanasia is reserved only for animals who are irremediably suffering, animals who are truly a threat to society and with no hope of rehabilitation. Brother Wolf staff and volunteers go door to door, neighborhood by neighborhood, to educate citizens about local resources available for at-risk pets and to help their families connect with those resources. Brother Wolf's community-based approach to no-kill helps keep family pets healthy. Brother Wolf's community-based approach to no-kill helps keep family pets healthy, happy, and in their homes and out of the local shelter system in the first place. For more information or to make a tax-deductible donation to this wonderful 501c3 organization, visit their website at www.bwar.org. Help to realize the Wolf's vision when no animal is euthanized for lack of a home.
Who's a good boy?
Hi, this is Craig Crossman, host of the Computer America Show. You have important meetings to schedule. Your company's getting ready for its IPO, and you're in charge of the PTA fundraiser this month. So how do you coordinate everyone to be available at the same time? Are you set working out for you? Not so great, huh? It's a fact that every day, millions of people suffer from scheduling headaches. Well, with Doodle, scheduling meetings with a group of people is quick and easy. With Doodle, you can easily propose available times to each man checks off the times that they are available, and then you simply pick the time that works best for the group, all in an easy-to-read display that integrates with your existing calendar. Nothing could be more simple. Give Doodle a try for free, and like millions of Doodle users, you'll truly see how easy it is to find the perfect date and time for all your users. You'll truly see how easy it is to find the perfect date and time for all your meetings. That's www.doodle.com.
Well, nice of you to show up again. It's Marty Winston with a News Tips Bulletin Review for Computer America. This time, the Pocket Click Stick. The Pocket Click Stick from Thumbs Up turned out to be more interesting than we anticipated. It starts with a button on it, a rod that telescopes out, a spring-loaded bracket, and a plug that fits a handset's headset jack. You use the spring clamp to hold the handset in landscape mode, rotate the whole thing for portrait mode, bring up your camera app, and push the button on the stick to take a selfie. We They go away. It doesn't use batteries or Bluetooth, just the wire you plug in, and the collapsed gizmo is small enough to fit most pockets or purses. Bottom line, the Pocket Click Stick makes it a snap to snap your selfie snapshots. This is Marty Winston with a News Tips Bullet Review for Computer America.
The Computer America show. It is 30, about a little bit past the bottom of the hour. I cannot speak tonight. No, but just finishing up with that story about gamers. Cooperative play using video games may increase your social skills and provide a number of other positive aspects. But I was kind of reading along the study here, and what they're kind of saying that video games lead to Alzheimer's disease is that by video games increasing the dependence on the caudate nucleus, and that means that they have reduced hippocampal integrity and strong hippocampal or hippocampuses or hippocampi. That's just a fun word to say. Reduced integrity of the hippocampus leads to Alzheimer's. So by not strengthening that at young ages, or not strengthening that over your lifetime, can lead to, again, which again leads to bad things. So I definitely, like they said that this could possibly be a side effect of video. But the next thing they're going to try to do is do more neuroimaging future studies to confirm, or neuroimaging in future studies to confirm or refute the findings, because they want to see the actual activity going into the hippocampus. Because if that's actually being stimulated by any genre of game or by any games, proves to be false. Because I don't want to get Alzheimer's, and definitely not going to be because, although if I have Alzheimer's, I could play the same game over and over again, and it'd be like the first time every time.
Mm-hmm.
And it'd be like the first time every time.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe that's what I'm going to do with video games.
Maybe.
Yes, it's my next story. So.
Okay. All right.
Yeah, no, let's see. Well, there's the obvious story about how, let's do that one.
Okay.
Kids better when schools ban smartphones.
Yeah, it was my story. Stole it. Okay.
Who knew?
About it, yes. About the pen and paper and the black, and she was saying that the using notes
and paper,
and she was saying that the using notes
and paper.
Yeah, exactly.
Trying to find an author here, and I'm sure it's towards the end or something like that. But anyways, CNN Money is here. We can find it here, and I'm sure it's towards the end or something like that. But anyways, CNN Money is here. We can find it. Anyways, yes, duh. Like no one here has ever refuted the fact that smartphones are a great time sink, are a great time waster, are a great way to distract you.
Yes.
So apparently schools that ban students from carrying phones see a clear improvement in their test scores. This is according to a study. Ban students from carrying phones see a clear improvement in their test scores. This is according to a study by the London School of Economics. I have a direct quote here saying that we found the impact of banning phones for these students equips. I guess that means that they're actually actively paying attention in class during discussions, rather than being on their phone and being distracted away from the conversation. And that leads to additional impact of the material. So it's been going on since 2001. Phone policies have changed at 91 schools in England since 2001, and they've achieved since 2001, and they've achieved. And I'm sorry, the data and results were achieved by examining the national exam with 130,000 students. And of course, just like this, just like you said, test scores improved by 6.4%. Not bad, not bad. And significant with an increase of scores by 14%. So, those who weren't doing well to begin with had a higher increase than the schools average. Doing well to begin with had. So, studies like this is kind of what leads next to schools banning smartphones.
Well,
possibility.
Do you think they should?
At this point, because parents give their kids smartphones every day in this country. Everyone has a smartphone, if not for security purposes, just so you can call your parents or keep in touch. Everyone has a smartphone, if not for security purposes, just so you can call your parents or keep in touch with your kids, security purposes. But schools really don't have a way of policing these kinds of things. Like if you keep it in your pocket, away, turned off, keep it in your backpack, away, silent. There's no way a teacher, if let's see, or if you're obviously making a spectacle of yourself. So, like there's no way smartphones, and I don't think they should, but they definitely should be increasing ban on smartphones, and I don't think they should, but they definitely should be increasing how students are using them in the classroom, because they definitely should be put away, turned off in your backpack or in your pocket. Not turned on during class. That's obvious. But banning them would never work. That's my opinion.
I think you're right. I think again, it's that genie out of the bottle. Once you let it out, it's kind of hard to put it back in. I think kids' smartphones today are just a part of life, and they will continue to be so, I think.
Parents love the fact that they can call their kids, text their kids any time of day, and they'll know exactly where their kid is. It's that added sense of security that I think a kid will have improved grades. They'll say, "Oh, awesome! What is it?" It's like, "Oh, just take away your kids' cell phones." It'll be like, "I'm not going to do that." Like, even if it showed clear results that this would be better for the kids, they're not going to do it, especially in America.
Okay. All right. Well, this next story again is, I think it's from Tip Us Off. I think that's the name of the website. And the author's name is Ernesto. No last name. Okay. The story says that Google Fiber. Which says that Google Fiber.
Which is off. The website is free.
Evidently, Google Fiber, which we all love and all want, is now sending automated piracy fines to subscribers. Yep. I mean, Google Fiber is forwarding copyright infringement notices to its subscribers, and has implemented automated piracy fines. Now they can be anywhere from $20 to $300 per fine.
Oh, I'm kidding. $20 to $300. And again, people don't torrent one movie. They do this by truckload.
Yeah. Well, Google's decision to forward these emails, according to Ernesto, is surprising, because Google usually has a good track record of protecting consumer interests. But evidently, Google receives dozens of millions of DCMA takedown. However, with Google Fiber, being rolled out in more cities, notices targeting allegedly pirating internet subscribers are becoming more common. I mean, they're expanding, and that would make perfect sense. So not only these notices include regular takedown notices, but also the more controversial settlement demands sent by companies such as Rights Corp and SegTech. So the idea here is that instead of just saying, "Hey, we're warning you, we're alerting you that you're downloading copyrighted material," instead of paying the fine, they're offering up settlements So just pay us $20 to $300 and it'll all go away, or at least this particular instance would.
Yeah.
I don't sounds. I mean, if I got a letter like that saying, "Hey, send us $150," I would be suspicious of that. I wouldn't think it was legitimate.
Well, well, first of all, I saw the legitimate, hey, we see what you're doing, cut that out. Like we actually received that one here, and someone was doing what they weren't supposed to. Not going to name names, but someone was doing what they weren't supposed to. Not going to name names, but easily right off in your mind is, oh well, and you can very easily right off in your mind is, oh well, I don't have to worry about that. That can't be real. But yeah, no, they're very serious. They're very automated. You can call it, and you can. Lately, though, DMCA, or at least all these copyright material, they have a pretty nice policy set up. I believe it's called the 6-strike policy, where pretty much if you don't set up, I believe it's called the 6-strike policy, where pretty much if you don't start listening to their demands after 5 or 6 times, like seriously, cut it off. Hey, we see what you're doing, knock it out. And then the second time they'll be like, oh, hey, seriously, cut it off. Please just don't do it already. 5th time, all right, we're getting angry over here. 6th time, they'll start bringing up legal. They'll give you like half a dozen chances to not do what you're doing.
Uh-huh.
And then they'll start bringing in, which I believe this is what Google was talking about, like the $20 to the $300. That's then where they start bringing that in, and then they'll even cut off your service to Google Fiber. And trust me, you want that service. Then cut off your service to Google Fiber, and trust me, you want that service. That service sounds amazing. It's not like the first time you do something bad, they automatically shut everything down.
Well, but
chances.
Yeah. Well, but evidently, are including like Comcast, Verizon, AT&T, have chosen not to forward. Comcast, Verizon, AT&T have chosen not to forward these settlement demands to their customers in order to protect them, I guess. However, according to the Freak website, they say that Google does take part in sending these settlement demands to their consumers. I have to think about it.
Craig, do you think they should?
I have to think about that. Well, I mean, the settlement demand, I mean, you get to, I mean, no, I think maybe if you've only done it once or twice, and maybe it could be inadvertent, you don't realize what you're doing, or somebody else in your family is doing it. And so it gives you a chance to say, hey, stop doing that. Don't do it again. Okay. Or twice. But note, and then they've already done it once or twice.
But after you've done it the first time, come until about 6, 7, 8 times after you've done it the first time, and then the settlement demand comes.
Well, what's the alternative? They're gonna take you into court.
The alternative is, they will seriously take you into court if you are a repeated offender. Google, doesn't matter, whoever it is, they'll forward along your personal information to the authorities, who they have every right to hand it over. And they'll cut your service off, so you'll no longer have the authorities, who they have every right to hand it over to, and they'll cut your service off, so you'll no longer have an internet service. And then yes, this company will take you to court.
Well,
I think sending out messages like these, like there's part of you that says, oh, well, good. My internet service provider is kind of shielding me from that. They're on my side. People need to be aware, but I think at the same time, people need to be aware of what they're doing. they may kind of shrug it off as saying, oh, sure, I pirated Game of Thrones, me and 3.5 million other people. Sure, I pirated Game of Thrones, me and 3.5 million other people. But at the end of the day, it's a serious crime.
It is. So evidently they say that again, Tech Freak says that they over the past week they've seen settlement demands, which were sent to Google Fiber customers in an email, and Google forwards the notice with additional warning that repeated violations may result in a permanent disconnection. So that's it. I mean, and they give examples of it.
I think we need to go into the examples.
Is doing the right thing? I'm passing them along, and the other one's eight. Because then you can say, well, I never got that settlement notice as they're dragging you into court. So
yeah, that really 0% of the time.
Yeah, thing and know what my options are.
Yep.
See everything and know what my options are.
4 minutes here left in tonight's show, but really into this one, we mentioned it before, and apparently it's making a pretty big deal nowadays, more so than when we first reported on it. And that is futuristic concrete heals itself with on it, and that is heals itself with built-in bacteria.
Yeah,
cool stuff. So apparently concrete has been a go-to building material since the Roman times.
Yes, it has.
As you know, many Roman architecture built with pure, it cracks a lot. And it may be from weathering, it may be from just the way the forces it has to carry, it may be from earthquakes. Doesn't matter, it cracks. It's very, very brittle, and we've all seen it in buildings, walking, especially around New York, a lot of, and we've all seen it, airline cracks, big cracks that you say, man, my city councilman is just letting me down right now as you hit a crack in the road. But apparently they have concrete that heals itself, is apparently getting closer to reality. It's from the Delft University of Technology, and they're working to create a concrete with a built-in that can fill cracks as they form.
That would be
concrete with a built-in bacteria that can fill cracks as they form.
That would be very cool.
Yeah, the bacteria is apparently packaged in minuscule pellets, which together look like a fine white powder, and they contain dormant bacteria.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna say that's what it was. Anyways, when a crack is formed and water seeps in, the bacteria, quote unquote, wake up and start eating the food. And as a result, the bacteria excrete a hard limestone filler, which fills the cracks in and prevents the water from doing more damage. That's very cool.
It is cool.
Which fills the cracks in and prevents the water from doing more damage. That's very cool.
It is cool.
So the concrete, it will start to break down 20 or 30 years. Traditionally, the bacteria that can lay dormant can be there for about 200 years without food. So this could extend.
Well,
much it.
Yeah. I've seen cracks form in the concrete driveways, and you go, oh, now I get this filler. It wouldn't be cool that if it would just heal itself and you wouldn't have to do anything. Honey, wasn't there a crack here a week ago? Because I can't find it now. Honey, wasn't there a crack here a week ago? Because I can't find it now.
Because the bacteria, as I said, they excrete hard, and yes, you are essentially filling your cracks with bacteria poop.
Fine.
Hard limestone excrement.
Yeah.
Different color, different texture, because it's a different kind of material. But at the end of the day, it's a self-sealing texture because it's a different kind of material. But at the end of the day, it's a self-sealing crack.
Yeah, that's all that matters.
Years.
All right.
It may become a reality in the coming years.
All right. I don't. We have time to do one more story here.
Yeah, go for it. Because we're actually going to try to get on that.
Well, Spotify turns itself into an entertainment one-stop shop because they're going to be offering videos and podcasts. Okay. They want to be, I guess they want to be your constant companion, according to Caitlin McGarry from Tech Hive. He says the streaming music app today rolled out a redesign that includes videos, podcasts, and contextually relevant playlists to accompany you throughout your day. Basically, you'll never need to leave Spotify. And that's, of course, obviously what Spotify wants. Never for you to never leave them. Okay.
They're like a bad girlfriend.
Songs anymore. The app is now a one-stop shop for your favorite podcasts. If you'd rather start your morning with pop culture news, shop for your favorite podcasts. If you'd rather start your morning with pop culture news, and video clips from ESPN, Vice, shows like Broad City. Okay. So a number of the world's largest media organizations have signed on, including ABC, the BBC, NBC, TED, and Comedy Central. So you'll never have to run out of things to watch. That's cool. Okay. Spotify is also working with partners to develop original. Obviously, some of the more entertaining ventures include Amy Poor's Smart Girls, which will create a dance move of the day video for the platform, and a show called Turntable, which features
chefs and musicians too. That sounds amazing.
Yeah,
amazing.
Yeah. Now the brand runners who are already using the app to provide a soundtrack. So when you toggle over to Spotify Running, the app will tap into your phone's sensor to figure out your pace and serve up songs that match your tempo. Isn't that good? So you can actually be jogging to this song tempo.
I have my phone. I'm listening to music on my phone, and I just have my entire library. I put it on shuffle, and then that you just kind of have to stop your whole workout, and a song that you just kind of have to stop your whole workout and fast forward it, and hopefully the next one is not a ballad, because you don't want those slow songs interfering with your workout. You want something.
One of the runners said, he says, most of my music is 128 beats per minute, so it's a little too slow to run to.
That's not.
Is 128 beats per minute, so it's a little too slow to run to.
That's not, some of the most listened to music out there. So, yes, you can find his music on Spotify.
But finding
most listened to music out there. So, yes, you can find his music on Spotify as well.
But he says was quite a challenge to find that. He said, but he did, evidently.
Yes, the chat room made a good point. Yes, that's why they have playlist. But I'll be honest with you, I have about 12. They have playlist. But I'll be honest with you, I have about 1,200 songs, and all the ones I want on my playlist, I just either I'm too lazy or I don't have the time, but then I'm too lazy to manage playlists, because sometimes I add new songs to my overall library, but then I just go back to listening to Spotify, or at least this whole run, but it's not on that one. So I just go will essentially do all that for you.
Okay.
This whole running to the beat thing from Spotify will essentially do all that for you.
Can't you run to country music? Oh wait, you don't listen to country music anymore.
Away from country music.
That about wraps up the show. I guess I want to thank our two guests from Puro, talking about their really cool headphones.
90 seconds
for children. Want to thank them for being here. We're going to have them back again when they come out with their adult version of the headsets too, and we look forward to having them on the tomorrow night. It's the third Thursday of the month, and that means it's time for our All Linux show with Monsieur Marcel Gagnier going to be joining us. All right,
can't wait for Gagnier.
Yeah, he's going to have his wine of the week.
60 seconds.
I don't want to be here anymore. That's his wine of the week.
60 seconds.
I don't want to be here anymore. That's his wine of the week. Yeah. it is the alternative operating system to Windows and Mac. You know, I mean, it's really a cool.
That's the operating system for you.
And if you have any questions about Linux, you're thinking about upgrading to Linux, well, this is the show for you. Again, Marcel Gagne, our Linux correspondent, going to be with us here for both hours of the Computer America show. You can call in and speak to him and get your questions answered about Linux. So that wraps it up. Thank you so much for being here. And until tomorrow night, this is Craig Crossman hoping that your hard disk never becomes.
Thank you for using Blog Talk Radio. Goodbye.
Okay, everybody, again, thanks for watching us on our live video stream. And see you on our All Linux show tomorrow. Take care. And we'll see you on our All Linux show tomorrow.